Hey everyone, welcome to Butt First Yoga. Today I'm going to take you through a beginner yoga sequence. Now when I say beginner, I don't necessarily mean easy. What I'm saying is that this is a great flow. If you've never done yoga before, or if you still feel pretty new to your practice, this is a great flow for you. I'm going to talk through each pose with a little bit more detail than I normally would. We're going to move a little bit slower, and I'm going to keep the transitions pretty simple. So if this is your first time exploring yoga, first of all, I'm super excited to have you. But I also want you to remember that you're probably going to hear some terms you've never heard before. Maybe you're not sure what down dog is or what a warrior two is. But if you were to walk into a dance class today and the teacher told you to do a chaîné turn or a pirouette or a pas de bourrée, you probably wouldn't know what those are either. So it's just a matter of learning the terminology as you learn this practice. Nobody expects you to know it right away. I know I certainly don't. And I continue to learn new names for poses all the time. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience. At any point you want to pause this video so that you can look at what I'm doing or whatever that might be for you. By all means, go for it. It's your practice in your safe space, probably at your home, or again, just somewhere that you feel comfortable. So let's explore yoga together, beginner yoga. Let's go.
To get started today, we'll be on our back. So grab your mat, grab a towel, somewhere comfy. Let's lay down. So right away, I want you to just extend your legs out, extend your arms out to your side, and get comfortable. This should be a familiar pose whether you've done yoga before or not. We're just allowing ourselves to lay on the ground and be supported. Don't think so much about this pose. Let the arms fall off to the side, let the legs fall off. Allow your head and neck to be long yet supported. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, side out. Inhale through the nose, fill your lungs up top to bottom, side to side. Exhale, sigh that all out. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, side out. Now as we get comfortable on our mat, I want you to just let yourself be. Notice your breath. Notice the tendency to maybe want to move or to fidget. Can you allow yourself to be comfortable here? In today's practice, I want to focus on getting out of our comfort zone. So maybe for you, that was just turning this on right away, and that was uncomfortable. Maybe this stillness is uncomfortable. We often think that being uncomfortable means that we need to be maybe in pain or we need to be doing something really hard and high intensity. But those words are not necessarily one and the same. You can find difficulty in this stillness by trying to turn your mind off, by allowing yourself to focus on you. Let's take one more deep breath in together.
Now go ahead and bend your knees. Pull your heels towards your glutes with your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going into a bridge pose, and it's early in our practice, so don't make this harder than it needs to be. Reach the hands long down your sides. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, lift the hips up. Press through your heels. Activate through your entire posterior chain. Keep the chin away from the chest. Just starting to open up through the front body here. One more breath in. Hold through your exhale. Slowly lower the hips down. And we'll go into that one more time. Reset. Reach the hands down long by your sides. Keep the feet shoulders width apart. Inhale. On your exhale, press the hips up. This time you could even roll the shoulders underneath to open up through the chest a little bit more. Again, this is not meant to be strenuous. We're just starting to open up through the front body here. Keep the chin off the chest. One more breath in. Lower the hips down. Now we'll windshield wiper the legs side to side, so quite literally thinking of the shins like windshield wipers. Just letting the legs move side to side, opening up through the back, letting the hips kind of roll out. Just feel free. Get that juice flowing. Take a full body stretch. Reach the arms up overhead. Reach the feet out long. We're going to make our way onto all fours. So no need to turn around, only flip over. So we're bringing our hands under our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. This is tabletop here. So in tabletop, I want you to spread all 10 fingers apart. Press specifically through the index finger and the thumb. Draw your belly button in towards your spine so your core is already engaged. We should have a neutral spine here. Wrap the triceps in. Find support. As you're ready, on an inhale, we'll lower the belly down, lift the chin, look forward. Then exhale, round the back, press through the palms, tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhale, cow pose. Lower the belly, lift the chin, look forward. Exhale, cat pose. Round the spine, press the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Inhale, cow, look forward, lower the belly down. Just getting some good movement throughout the spine here. Focusing on that flexion and extension of the spine. Come back to neutral here. Take a deep breath in, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips go high and back. Now right away, give yourself a generous bend in the knees. We're making an inverted V here, but that doesn't mean that the legs need to be straight. Keep all 10 fingers apart, just like you did in tabletop. Wrap your ears between your biceps. Lift your tailbone up towards the sky. It's okay if the heels don't touch here. That's not the goal. We want to find length throughout our back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, press through the palms. Now you could stay in stillness with your downward facing dog here, or you could do what we call pedaling the heels or walking the dog, where you press one heel down at a time. So you're finding length one side at a time, pressing the heels towards the mat, then giving a generous bend in the knee to the opposite leg. Totally up to you to find stillness or movement, whatever feels best for you here. Find your way back to stillness. Come down to the knees, big toes to touch. Sit the hips back towards the heels and reach the hands forward. This is child's pose. So your knees can be apart as wide as the mat if that's comfortable for your hips. If that feels too intense already, bring the knees closer together. You'll get more space in your low back that way. Child's pose is a resting pose. So at any point this practice gets to be too much or you need a break for any reason, you have the opportunity to come back to this pose. Again, this is child's pose. Hands reach forward as the hips reach back. Allow your forehead to just rest on the mat. Now, as you find this stillness, notice how your body feels different than it did just a couple minutes ago when we were getting started. Maybe you're already starting to feel your heart rate increase. Maybe your breath has changed. Just information to notice. On an inhale, come back up to a tabletop. Remember, the hands are under the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, hips go high and back, downward facing dog. This time, from downward facing dog, look forward between the hands. That's where we're going. Take as many small steps or big steps as you need to bring your feet behind your wrist. Heels are underneath the hips, knees are soft. This is your forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy here, as if water could just drip down the back of your neck. You could try a ragdoll pose and grab for opposite elbows. Maybe even feeling a little bit of traction here. You could shake the head yes, shake the head no. Maybe take movements side to side. This is your pose. This is your practice. On an inhale, release the hands down. Find halfway lift. Hands to shins, reach the crown of the head forward. Remember, we want as much length in our spine as we can. Keep the knees soft. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. One more deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Release the hands down to the mat. Inhale, roll up slow, one vertebrae at a time, as slow as you can. The last one up is always the winner here. We'll come to what we call standing at attention, or samstatihi. So stay where you are. Heels are underneath the hips. Hands can come to heart center. Typically, when we come to this pose, we call back the intention that we set at the beginning of our practice. So if you wanted to join me with an intention today, I want you to consider letting go of your comfort zone, getting out of your comfort zone. So maybe today, getting out of your comfort zone meant getting on your mat. Maybe it meant turning this video on. Maybe it's going to come later in one of the poses, trusting your breath and trusting your body. At the end of the day, I just want you to feel good about this practice. So it doesn't need to look a certain way. It doesn't need to feel a certain way. As long as you are getting what you need. Let's steal in our attention with one deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. As you're ready, inhale, reach up, mountain pose. Spiral the pinkies forward. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, get long in the spine, belly button up and in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hands and feet, shoulders width apart. You've been here before, notice where it feels different. Now we'll start to add some variation here. As you're ready, inhale, reach the right leg up towards the sky. Notice a tendency to want to open the hip here. Keep your hips squared towards the ground. All 5 toes on your right leg should be pointing down towards the ground, so even look at them and make sure that they're down. Continue to press evenly through both palms. Reach the heel back as long as you can. One more deep breath in. Exhale, pull the knee towards your nose. Plant your foot between your hands for a low lunge. The knee should be on top of the ankle, never in front of the toes. So if you notice that you can't see your toes, either pull the foot forward or scoot the left leg back. We want to be really cautious of our joints and just making sure that we're being really extra nice to them. Keep the front foot grounded in your low lunge. Pull your heart forward. Lower down the back knee, untuck your toes. Inhale, crescent lunge. Be careful not to dump into the hips here. We want to keep our core engaged and really focus on, yes, there's a stretch, but we have control. If it helps you to stay in control by bringing your hands to your thigh, you could do that for a proposal pose instead. Hips square to the floor, square to the front. As you're ready, exhale, hinge back, find your half split. The hips stay up off the heel. We're finding length in the back of the right leg. Pull your toes towards your nose. Now, this might be really intense for your hamstrings, especially if you haven't stretched them in a long time. So if you were to have blocks or water bottles or anything like that, you could use that to keep your hands up a little higher than the ground. Draw your belly button towards your thighs. Walk the hands forward. Find low lunge. Tuck the toes, lift the back knee. As you're ready, exhale, downward facing dog. Coming back into downward facing dog, reset your posture. Make sure hands and feet are shoulders width apart. Press through the palms, specifically the L-shaped fingers. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. What we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So as you're ready, inhale, reach the left leg up towards the sky. Remember, all 5 toes are down towards the ground. The hips are square towards the ground as well. Give yourself a peek at that foot if that helps. Be sure to press evenly through both palms. Then as you're ready, exhale, low lunge. Notice if the side feels a little bit different. The knee should be on top of the ankle. Avoid letting it go past the toes. As you're ready, lower the knee down, untuck the toes, slide the hips back, find half split. This side might feel totally different depending on how those hamstrings feel. So pull your toes to your nose, keep your hips up off your heel. Try to find length in your low back, keeping the chest lifted. When you're ready, walk the hands forward, low lunge. Tuck the toes, lift the back knee up. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk the feet behind the wrists. Take as many steps as you need. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now you can keep the feet where they are or bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, chair pose. Hips lower, arms reach up overhead. If this bothers your shoulders reaching up overhead, especially if you have tight shoulders, feel free to bring your hands forward or even to heart center if that feels more comfortable. Squeeze the inner thighs together, sit back in the heels, pull the weight back. Keep lowering down in the hips as you lift and open the chest. Keep the heart open, roll the shoulders back. Find another inch of depth. 1 more big inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the feet back. Notice if you're finding more length in the low back. Maybe you need less of a bend in the knees now. Wherever you're at, equal pressure between both hands and both feet. Adding on to what we did before. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Low lunge, plant the foot down. Keep the back knee lifted this time. We'll spin the back foot down, keeping it in contact entirely with the mat. Inhale, warrior 2. Press through the front foot. Reach the arms front to back. As you find warrior 2, the back leg should be straight. All 5 toes in the back foot should be facing to the side or slightly forward. Continue to press through the outer edge of the back foot. The front knee should be directly over the heel, with the knee pushing towards the pinky toes to open up the hips. Our tendency is to reach forward here. Pull yourself back in line so your shoulders are over your hips. We're opening up the hips here. So your hips are square to the front, but our knee is constantly pushing towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. Reach the hands in opposition. Find length from one middle finger all the way to the other. Again, find that length. Relax your shoulders down your back. Maybe find another inch of depth in the front knee. On your exhale, bring the right elbow inside the right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over for side angle. The legs stay exactly the same. All we're doing is reaching forward, finding a side body stretch. If this is bothering your left shoulder at all, instead of reaching up and over, feel free to just reach straight up instead. Either way, roll the top rib back and the bottom rib under. This is a big heart opener. We're opening up our chest here. Use your elbow for leverage. Push out on the inner thigh of the right leg. As you're ready, inhale, reverse warrior. Legs stay exactly the same. The tendency is to want to extend the front leg, but we want to stay low, just like we were for our warrior 2 and side angle. The right arm reaches up and behind us now, finding space in the right side body. Exhale, low lunge, step back, downward facing dog. And you know we do the same thing, other side. Left leg reaches up, then exhale, low lunge. Spin the back foot down, find connection with the mat. Inhale, warrior 2. Cartwheel the arms open, reaching them in opposite directions. Now, this side might feel totally different, and that's okay. Let's set up the same way we did before, focusing on the back leg being long and straight, pressing through the outer edge of the foot. Front knee over the heel, not falling in. Continue to open up the hip. The knee points forward and towards the pinky toes. Remember, all 5 toes in the back foot face to the side or slightly forward. Reach the arms out long in opposition. Relax the shoulders down your back. Get another inch lower in the front leg. Exhale, side angle. Left elbow comes inside the left thigh. Reach the right arm up and over. Remember, this side might feel different, so do what feels most comfortable in that upper arm. You could reach straight up or up and over. Keep opening up your chest, though, here. This is all heart opening. Do what feels best in your body. Slightly lean back. One more breath in. When you're ready, reverse warrior. Optional look down at the back foot or up at your top hand. When you're ready, cartwheel the hands down, low lunge, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the feet behind the wrist, forward fold. As you're ready, inhale, halfway lift, get long in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, hips lower, arms reach. Bring your ears in between your biceps or bring your hands to heart center if that feels better on your shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, get long in the spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to move through what we just did. One breath, one movement this time. Take your time as much as you need. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge, knee to nose, plant the foot. Inhale, warrior 2, cartwheel the arms open, reach in opposition. Exhale, side angle, reach up and over. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach back. Exhale, low lunge to downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, low lunge. Spin the back foot down, connect with the mat. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, side angle, reach up and over, open your chest. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, low lunge, downward facing dog. So that's a little taste of our flow. We'll lower down to our knees, untuck the toes, find child's pose for just a brief rest. Notice if your heart rate seems a little bit higher. Notice if your breath has changed. Let yourself just be. When you're ready, we'll swing our legs around to the front of the mat. Come on up. Bring your feet out straight in front of you. You can remove the flesh from underneath your sits bones, we say. Basically, we're just taking our glutes off to the side so our sits bones can connect more with the mat. Sit up tall here. Relax your shoulders down your back. Inhale, reach the hands up overhead, find length. Exhale, forward fold. Now, the goal is not to reach your toes. It's It's not even to reach your ankles or your calves. It's really about getting this length through the back of the legs. So keep the knees soft, hinge forward, bring your belly button closer towards your thighs. This is that pose that people often say, oh, I can't touch my toes, so I can't do yoga. But to that I always say, you've never been too dirty to take a shower, so you're certainly not too inflexible to do yoga. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, get a little bit deeper. Inhale, sit up. We'll roll down one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. As you arrive on your back, we'll prepare for a second round of bridge pose, just like how we started practice. So bring your heels in towards your glutes, knees up towards the ceiling, reach your hands long down your sides. Now in some classes you might have a teacher say, touch your heels, or you should be able to touch your heels. I don't know if I have short arms or long torso or what, but I can hardly touch my heels no matter how hard I try. So instead of touching your heels, just reach as far as you can. As you're ready, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift the hips high, roll the shoulders underneath. Notice if maybe you're finding a little more length, a little more openness in your hips this second time through. Press through the heels. One more deep breath in. And we'll slowly lower down. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Allow the knees to open out wide. We call this a Supta Baddha Konasana, or supine bound angle, or reclined bound angle. You could bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, feeling your heartbeat and your breath, or hands could stay down by your sides. Use your hands to bring the knees back together. We'll prepare for a supine figure 4. Keep the knees bent, bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh. You could stay right here. Maybe even pressing on the inner thigh of the right side to open up the hip. Or, if you'd like a deeper stretch, reach through, grab the back of your left thigh. Keep your back and your head in contact with the mat. If you have to compensate by lifting anything off the mat, go back to where we started and use that for your stretch today. Breathe into this hip. Notice where you're feeling sensation. Slowly lower the legs down and we'll switch sides. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. Reach around, grab the right thigh if that would serve you here. Notice if this side feels totally different. Our bodies are not symmetrical. So it's very, very possible that they feel really different, and that's okay. That's just good information. Continue to breathe here. Slowly lower the legs down. Extend both legs out. We'll finish with our spinal twist today. Bring your right knee in towards your chest, in towards your armpit. Then let it fall off to the left side. Now, if your shoulders come up off the ground, I want you to readjust and keep them connected with the mat. The shoulders are squared up with the ceiling. Chest is open. Hands could be out in a T or in cactus arms, whatever would feel best, whatever you have space for. Just breathe. Notice if this is where uncomfy shows up. As you're ready, we'll switch sides. Final pose. Grab your knee, bring it towards your chest or towards your armpit. Then let it fall off to the right side. Shoulders stay connected to the mat as they open up towards the ceiling. Feel free to use a hand for a little extra support for the lower body. As you're ready, we'll bring the knee back in, extend both legs long. We'll take a tiny little ball. I want you to pull your knees into your chest, reach your forehead up towards your knees, Squeeze everything in super, super tight here. Your legs, your chest, your torso, your forehead, your chin. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, Shavasana. This is our final resting pose. And oftentimes it's the hardest one as we find stillness. So give yourself this moment to just simply be. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back. It's okay. Maybe this is getting out of your comfort zone, giving yourself permission to be still. Allow the legs to just hang heavy. Allow the arms to open up. This is our final resting pose, and I will let you know when it's time to come out of it. You're welcome to stay in this position as long as you would like to. You're probably in a safe space where you're able to do that. If you find it's time for you to integrate back into your day, bring small movements to your wrists, your ankles, your fingers, your toes. Maybe roll the head side to side, deepen your breath. Take a full body stretch like you're waking up for the first time today. And then with little to no effort, roll onto the side that feels best to you. Come to a seated position with your hands and heart center. All together, we inhale, reach the palms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. If there's one thing I hope you take from today's practice, it's that the comfort zone is a beautiful thing, but nothing ever grows there. I encourage you to take this practice off your mat, to get out of your comfort zone, and to continue finding your growth zone. No matter what that looks like for you today, tomorrow, or next week. Take this practice, take what you need, leave what you don't. One more deep breath in together. Inhale, reach the hands up overhead, open the heart. Exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.